Yeah, there's no quick solution to intangible issues, man.
That's facts.
It's the thing yourself. I just don't get how people can't see that, yes, temporary relief is awesome for that, however that time is. You feel it for that moment. We all deal with things, we all do things to help us maybe get through something temporary. But do you know that, okay, this is not going to solve it? Do you know that, okay, I just need a little bit of relief. It's like when you got a headache, you take some Tylenol. You know what I mean? That temporary relief, yeah, you might get a headache again.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You might have to step up how you're curing your headache.
Yeah.
Ay. Look. I'm too cool for the rules, baby, get off of me. Never need no push, I do it all for me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Too true for the flex, baby, don't cap to me. Drop 50, bring 150 right back to me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Look, Papa don't preach, teachers don't teach. Gon' reach, that's facts. I ain't worried about none of that. I'm making that cash stack. Bunch of O's like NASCAR, but it's really more like NASDAQ. Why they thinking that they hot when they really more like quarter on me like a referee? Hating what they'll never be. Small top with a big bottom, yeah, shorty shaped like a letter D. Let her have it, then I let her be. If you love it, gotta let it grow. Crazy cause you really never know. When I'm hurting, never let it show. I'm a two-tone, two-phone, two-chain, new thing, lane whipper. You a broke, low class, no cash, certified lame. I've been getting to it like I ought to. Couldn't pick, so I bought two. Understand why your chick came, I'm just trying to figure why she brought you. I'm really repping and I'm flexed up, and I ain't gotta tell him I'm next up. Sleep on the they rest up, but I'm up and I'm getting my checks up. Me and the fellas be high as propellers, ain't could tell us we great. Looking at like how do you figure unless you could talk about 8 figures. I'm too cool for the rules, baby, get off of me. Never need no push, I do it all for me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be.
This is a deep question. First of all, I'm gonna say I think people's feelings they're always gonna find a way to justify. Like everybody has their own perception of what. I think everybody has their own perception of what is justifiable for me. Because if they explain it to you, they're gonna explain it in a way that they are justified. In terms of this question, I really think it's
hold on, hey, dog. That boy coming out the gate, dog. I'm at the gate. I had to check out. I got to put some paper on it.
I could fall in. Look at my last bet. Ain't got a tiptoe. I'm all in. Think on a level that can't fail. And I roll me a J with the hate mail. Been doing good on the merch sale. All this bread on me look like a bake sale. Tell her what's really good. I'll be really good on a jaw jack. Send an email about the bread. I'ma hit you back with the call back.
When you're
cool for the rules, baby, get off of me.
When you are at a
never need no push, I do it all for
and
me.
You're happy.
Keep a couple real hitters, got them on.
Happiness is not pleasure. I need us to understand this. Happiness is the complete satisfaction with yourself. You are satisfied with who you are.
You know what I'm saying? Like people put the material things in front. You know what I'm saying? To make that contractual.
Yep.
And then after that, you're permitted to have my feelings. You know what I'm saying? Now I'll be soft and kind and compassionate after you make $100,000 a year, and after you are 6'4", and after you are athletic.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Wait, Joe, you mean to tell me that in order for me to create some benevolence in my relationship, as far as kindness and politeness and submissive and willingness to just be kind to me, it's going to cost me a whopping $100,000 a year?
Whopping. A grand total, right?
A grand total.
Yeah.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome to episode 5 of the Mailroom Show. My job to introduce the crew, man. We got Rollo. JB the Gent. Your boy Tay Biz. Let this beat drop. What up, Doe, man? This is the Mailroom Show, season 4, episode number 5, man. How y'all fellas doing today, man?
I'm excited for this one, sir. How you doing, fellas? Tan Rollo, what's good, baby?
What up, fellas? Blessed and highly favored. You know what I mean? Glad to be back here.
Absolutely, man. Doing the same, man. I'm happy to be back once again. I just came off a vacation, staycation. I'm very relaxed and poised and ready to get it popping. You know what I'm saying? Got the mentals, had to get the bearings back, you feel me? from all the work, but nevertheless, we are here. We're in the building, man. Shout out to the mod of all mods, chill in the building, saying, "What up, though? Hey, fam." Remember to hit that like button on your way in and enjoy the show. Another mod, one of our day ones, saying, "What up, though?" to us, saying, "Hey, fellas, Sean Tillman in the building." Yeah, I just want to show them some love real quick, man. I appreciate the mod all day. Yeah. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Well, it is time, man. It is time to start the show with a little bit of funny, man. Let's go ahead and get it in. All right, man. So I came across this video, man, of Godfrey and his actual the comedian Godfrey and his actual take on Bronny James being drafted. Hey, man, go ahead and check this out real quick with me, man.
Listen, good for him. I don't know why people are hating on the guy. You know what? Here's the thing about sports. If he's no good, he'll sit the bench. He's no good, he'll be in China. You know, he'll have a Chinese jersey on. You know, and there's you can play basketball elsewhere. Especially he'll be dribbling down the court. 이거 던져가라, Bronny James. 시도 던져다, 흔덩이네. Bronzy James 10 points. 지금 누구요? 건드리래요. 던지래요. Bronny James. You know, if Bronny doesn't make it in the NBA, he gonna be overseas and be like, Bronny James. Oh my God, Bronny James. They'll be like, es un importante, es un Bronny James. Es otro tercero, izquierda, es increíble. Bronny James. Give me the Chinese.
Oh,
he
my
was smart enough to leave the J out of it, dog. He was smart enough to leave the J out. That boy's a talent, man.
Dude, this dude is outside of his mind, bro. He's outside of his mind, dude. Straight up, man. This dude. Bronzy James. Bronny James.
That kind of amazed me how foreign languages, like when they speak in their native tongue, but then they say something that's, you know, like an American name or something, it comes out pretty much like English. Like they pretty much speak it clearly. Yeah. That's crazy. It makes you think.
Proper names don't change. Like, so, you know, you got to keep it the same.
Like, right. It's like, I know, I'm just saying, like the pronunciation and everything. Like, like they say it exactly how the name is going. Anyway.
It's on you, Rollo.
That was a good one. Oh, man. Yeah, that was dope. That was dope. Again, shout out to all our mods in the building, everybody that's watching the live. We appreciate y'all. My brothers held it down last week, man, so it's kind of good to be back to work this week, man. We're going to get it started like this, man. We have come together once again for conversation and camaraderie to discuss topics that are relevant to men and women in society today. I am very happy to be back with my brethren this week. I appreciate my boys, JB and Tay, for holding it down for you, boy, man. Last week's show was dope. I got a chance to see it, so we got another good show this evening. So with that being said, my brothers, as we embark on another round table that has turned into the MALEROOM show, let us never, ever forget the foundation that is our Trinity. Salute.
Salute, my brothers.
Hey, bro, we were just simultaneous as hell on that sip. Did y'all see that?
Yeah, I ain't really seeing too much. I saw the ending. We did, bro.
Let me take a sip real quick.
Y'all ready to get into it, man?
Yeah, man, we ready, man.
Yeah,
right, so, let's go. We're gonna get into a topic. All right. What are the contributing factors to the dating app decline? What are the contributing factors to the dating app decline? Our brother Busy put us up on a really, really dope study I think it was last week. Busy, you gave it to us.
Yeah, last
Yeah,
Saturday.
it was pretty intriguing, man. You want to share some of what you thought, what you found in that study?
Well, I kind of like want to get y'all opinions first, man.
Okay.
Before we deep dive into it, I think need to bring some context to it.
Yeah. Jay, you want to take it?
Yeah. So when we was talking last week, I'll give a recap and I'll give a little short, synopsis of what I think about it. We were talking previously, and when we came up, we actually, not we, but one of us actually did some studies on the dating app decline within the current generation of Gen Zs. You know what I'm saying? And we started looking into it because people use dating apps in all generations. But why is there a decline amongst the current generation more than any other? You know what I'm saying? And that was the question that was posed, and it was like, dang, I had to sit there and think about it for a minute. Like, not, because there's a generation before us. I'm in 40s era, right? So there's a generation that's succeeding me, and we're talking about them, like 20s, right? 18, 20-ish type of thing in front of us, right? Like, they're the ones, you know what I mean? They're the ones that's showing the decline more than we are. And it was a brain puzzler for a minute for myself. It was like, I didn't really know why. But once once I started to think about it, is that, as you go through, evolution of generations, we tend to evolve, to and from away from certain scenarios. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we dealing with, we gotta, a generation might take from it, another generation might spin off of it. You know what I'm saying? Like every generation doesn't evolve the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like hip hop for once and another. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop was created basically really in our generation. You know what I'm saying? The one before that, kind of, it was predicated on the previous one, but then the new generation above this one spun off of their own hip hop on it, and it's a new modern type of hip hop. If anybody followed that genre, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Some people, sometimes you evolve in it. Some generations spin off of it, create their own thing. That's just what happens. And so, why the spin off of the dating apps when we use them so prevalent? And that's like, dang, what if you really think about it? Like, the ones in the information age, like, that's the Gen Zers, right? They're the ones we are in the information age too, but the offspring of us is the Gen, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They're the ones there's like, they know nothing else but this, right? Right? So they know nothing else but technology. So it's like, why are they like, I would rather not use technology and go back to the origin of meeting one-on-one. But yet, we're still like going into it. And I think it's a lack of complacency for me. This is just what I think it is. I think it's just a lack of complacency since we're so used to doing a certain thing. And this is it's based on individualism, you know what I'm saying? But it's a micro to macro scenario like it usually is. So since we're so used to doing a thing, even if it works or not, that's what the complacency factor is. Even if it works or not, we're so used to doing a thing. And then we consistently do it. But somebody that's introduced with it, you know what I'm saying, see that it doesn't work, might venture off and be like, it doesn't work. We can try something else. But the complacency one will continue to do it because they're just so used to it. You know what I'm saying? It's like going to a bar or something. Like, you're supposed to get older and phase out of that. But some people just like going to the bar. Some people just complacent in going to the bar. 40, 50, 60 years old, it just go. You know what I'm saying? Like, and with the fervency as they used to. Like, it's like, and some people might look at that and be like, yeah, that's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to mature a little. Man, each his own. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, I'm starting to learn that everybody doesn't mature at the same time. So each his own, right? So, but that's what I mean. And for that example, some people just get complacent, like just keep doing the same thing, even if it works or not. And so that's what makes this study so interesting, is that the ones that's younger before us, because we have more knowledge than them, at least as far as the whole dating and matrimony dating scheme of society and mating and dating. As far as us, we're in front of them. They'll never be no more than us because we're preceding them, right? Mm-hmm. How are they smarter in this aspect than we are? So I think it's a complacency factor. That's just me. What y'all think?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting take, bro. Something that kind of stood out to me, when cause Tay sent us some of the information that he found. Something that stood out to me when I was going through it was, in the pandemic era, the pandemic time, and I hate to bring up, the pandemic, but just in this case, we had to find different ways to communicate, obviously. And around that time, people got more creative with how they communicated. People made more of an effort to get on these different sites to communicate and get in contact with people because obviously we were unable to. And imagine somebody just getting out of college, or even people, and they're starting their life, you know what I mean? And they at a point in their life where they want to meet somebody. At that time, there was no other way to do it. No other way. You had to get on a dating app. You had to get on Tinder. You had to get on social media. You had to do all of that. And that was just the norm. So the fact that some people had to that was the start of them becoming adults and going into the dating world. I think that kind of could have put some of that complacency on it as well, because that was the only way we had to communicate. And I think the fact that, if Gen Z is probably, if it's a case where they're coming out of it now, it is kind of like an evolution, because at that time when one way of doing something and you see another way, and that other way begins to maybe take over your original view, you're gonna immediately maybe look at that side of it. So if people are coming out of it because they only knew one way, which was through the social media age and through dating apps, I can understand why there may be a decline, because now obviously we're 5 years post pandemic, and so now people are, I guess, coming out of their shell to a certain extent, and they're seeing a new way and possibly a better way to meet people. So that could be a cause for the decline as well.
Yeah, I rock with both of y'all's perspective on it. I found this to be very, very interesting because of the fact of our society. We have a social laziness that have taken place pre-pandemic, to me, a little bit too, since the beginning and the dawn of the dating app culture, I would say. Dating apps came out 2013-ish, 2012, 2013, in that time frame. So the Gen Zs were not able to really get on the dating apps like that because they were too young at the time when they came out. So our generation actually laid the foundation on this whole particular thing. You had Tinder came out, you had blackpeoplemeet.com, you had then Bumble started coming out, Hinge and all that started coming out later on down the line. And so consequently, because of these different options that you can have to be able to connect with hundreds of people based upon your profile that you set up, it was our generation who kind of kicked this off and started this whole thing. But when the Gen Zs got older, they took it to another level. They went dopamine crazy on it because they're like, oh, this is another way. Jay talked about information and technology. This is another way for me to gain information through technology without me having to leave the crib. Like, let me ask you a question. When the last time, when you was looking for a job, when the last time you went in person to do an interview? Like,
that's real. That's real.
Everything is. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
You said something so foreign.
Exactly. Everything is virtual.
So everything is based upon FaceTime, all this kind of stuff, and virtual connection and things of that nature. So the information I came across was the fact that amongst all the users now, again, all the users from this is from 2023 to 2024. So this is a recent study by Pew Research Center, also by Forbes Health. says Gen Z dating app users are going to the basics of asking someone out instead of using Tinder and Bumble. In particular, ages 18 to 25, you could say 26, 27 in there too, because the Gen Z range is 13 to 28. So the apps that declined was Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. And Tinder declined at about 600,000, almost close to 600,000 users stopped using it amongst Gen Z. Now we just talking about young folk, like what Jay was mentioning. Bumble was at 370 and Hinge is at 131. Okay, these are in the thousands, right? So it says here 46% of Gen Z dating app users have had a negative experience with other users. US in 2023, US college students and Gen Zers, they said that 79% of them said that they were foregoing regular dating app usage. Now, I do have a video to show of this whole thing where there was a reporter who went out and actually asked these college students questions about why is it that you are deciding not to utilize these apps and things of that nature. And you'll be surprised at what these young people had to say. So let's check it out real quick if y'all don't mind.
Everybody on the apps is faking it. Listen closely. No one on there is real.
I think it's like a game. And you like talk to people, but like you're not actually ever gonna see them. It's just like for funsies.
I do feel like we are shifting more towards meeting people organically, and like it's more fun that way.
I think there truly is a push away from dating apps. We can think of technology as this tool for access, or we can think of it as a crutch. And I think a lot of people are sick of walking with the crutch because all of a sudden they notice that they no longer know how to strike up a conversation with someone that isn't in a DM or online. So there is this shift to try and meet in person.
Dating apps are in trouble lately. Millennials, many of whom first adopted apps like Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge, are getting older. To keep their businesses afloat, matchmaking companies need to attract the next generation of users looking for love, Gen Z. The problem? They might not be so enthused about using dating apps.
They're not ideal to meet people.
They're gonna die soon. That's my psychic prediction.
I think people just don't take it seriously. That's probably
it's kind of just like casual.
This is the best Tinder opener I have ever seen when we tested.
So here's the issue. For Gen Z, we're seeing that they do want to meet in person, but what's happening is that they're too shy to talk to anyone.
Here is the correct way to approach a girl in a bar or club.
There's a whole trend in TikToks about what to say when you go to the bar, like different advice on how to introduce yourself to someone.
Here's a really good line to use if a cute girl, or for my ladies, a cute guy, accidentally bumps into you at a crowded bar, nightclub, or wherever.
Gen Z can figure out almost anything from the palm of their hand, their phone, but they can't figure out dating. What do you make of that?
It's that difference between hard skills and soft skills. So they are so adept at reading the digital landscape, but the social landscape, I mean, for many of them, it is new.
A lot of people like my age basically lost our entire high school life to COVID. So we've been isolated forever. Like, we want to be having as much human interaction as possible.
Is there anything that social media dating apps can do right now to capture the experience that Gen Z truly wants to have?
So we've seen dating apps experiment with IRL events and seen a lot of success there. So that could mean an app like Bumble hosting speed dating or speed friending, and they have, and that has been a success for them.
Whether it's in real life or online though, getting Gen Z to shell out money to find love, these brands' ultimate goal, may be a hard sell in this economy.
Do you know anyone in your generation who pay for dating? Pay? I don't, because I feel like if they do, they should keep that to themselves, but good luck to them, I guess.
I feel like the second I pay money on it, I'm just going to be like, was this worth whatever, however much money one rose is? Like,
economics of dating is a huge tension point for Gen Z. Some of our research points to the fact that the average date is $100 or more.
I'm literally like, how much money can I possibly pay? I need to pay for the date.
This is just kind of like the loneliest generation that we've had in a while, and especially with social media and everything, I think a lot of people from my generation become, or like feeling a lot more lonely than ever, and don't really know how to reach out and break out of their shells as older generations have been blessed with.
All right, so this is That is just a quick little video of the reporter mentioning some of the issues, right? Or asking the young people themselves. And so it's so funny that Rollo talked about the pandemic. I'm about to get to that right now. So in the pandemic, the burnout rate for the dating apps went up. So too much lack of communication caused issues of burnout. We talking about communication. According to Forbes Health, 78% of app users reported failing emotionally, mentally, or physically exhausted them, or doing the using the app. They experience more emotional, mental, and or physical exhaustion because of the app. So they was burnt out from using it. So these are the reasons. We talk about contributing factors. So these are some of the reasons that young people are talking about: failure to find good connection, disappointed by others, felt rejected. Okay, they constantly felt rejected when they wasn't getting matchmakers and when they weren't able to match. Repetitive nature of messaging multiple people. Okay, so take the concept of serial dating, which I've talked about before, where you're dating multiple people, speed dating, if you will, and put that in a text message form and see how you get 20 to 50 messages a day. If you like that, if you are getting that type of traction, you're getting 20 to 30 messages a day, and you have to respond to all of them. You got to work, you got to eat, exercise if that's your lifestyle. You got to go to church, you got to sing in the choir, you got to go to work again. Some of y'all work a double. You got to maintain your household. You got to spend time with your family. You got to do all these things, and still you don't have enough time to actually respond to everyone. Inflation was another reason why the dating app decline happened, because when you get these dates scheduled and things of that nature, you don't have the money that it takes to do this dating, because you're broke trying to figure out how you're going to pay for your next meal, how you're going to pay your rent, how you're going to keep your phone on, and things of that nature. So that's why I thank God for payment arrangements, you know what I'm saying? Because that way you can try to rob Peter to pay Paul if you're interested in somebody, right? So another reason was safety. Some people didn't feel safe to use dating apps or to go out on a date with someone that they actually attempted or connected with on a dating app. So these young people now are saying, you know what? I think we're going to go back to the old school way of just introducing myself to somebody in person and to make sure that I can get a human connection with someone. Now, I want to flip this real quick. The fact that they're using it or not using it as much. We talk about a 1.2 plus million of users of a certain age bracket. Like, we good on it. But we are still maintaining a rapid speed of utilizing these dating apps. So the trajectory is going in an opposite direction. And so my question would be, which generation is really socially lazy at this point? You see what I'm saying? Because if we could talk about young people all we want, right? We could talk about young people all we want. But they have all the information, but not enough knowledge. Here it is. Our generation has all the knowledge, but we don't really vet for information when we're dating someone that we're interested in. We don't vet them. We don't take the time to really get the information from someone, even though we got knowledge of life when it comes to our longevity of living compared to theirs. We've experienced more things. So it's so many contributing factors to it. It's like a multivariate analysis of things, right? However, the combination of complacency and social laziness has, I believe, has trumped all the other factors, such as the way the app was structured. Most of the apps are similar. You swipe left to get a match or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I don't use them. So you got to do all these things. So all the apps look the same, right? So there is no user, there is no UI, there's no user interface friendliness, right? But when they first came out, everybody was attacking it because now it's like, I don't have to risk my embarrassment if someone rejects me. I can hide behind because I can do it on this phone app. And see, this is the laziness that I'm talking about. You need to experience rejection, young people. They're like, you know what? We experienced it on the app. Now you're going to experience it in person. You're not going to use the app that much, but the young people are not going to try to go over the experience in person because you need these particular experiences.
Absolutely. I feel you, Tay. I just want to add something to kind of go with that a little bit on the opposite end of what you were saying. But me, like, and y'all know, I've used dating apps and I haven't really had any bad experiences with them. But I will say what could cause some of the, the laziness or, the fatigue of it is when you're on the app and somebody likes you, okay, and you respond, but you'll get no response back. Say that happens every so often. Like, say it happens a few times in a row when you're on the app. You got all this confidence because somebody has actually liked you on there, and you're trying to reach out because they responded, but they don't respond back. And it almost creates a, what's the purpose type mentality of it. So, which could also be why people get lazy with it, people get discouraged with it, because it's like, why are you're trying to connect with people, somebody's connecting with you back, and then you're putting forth the effort, but you're not getting any response. Is it better than going out somewhere and getting rejected to your face? Rejection is not good either way. But I think that when in that instance, when you feel something's supposed to be easier and you find out it's still not, that could definitely weigh on you too. So, you know what I mean? So that could probably
that's what you're saying. Yeah.
That could probably contribute to some of the, the laziness of it or the decline in it too, is you just get tired of putting forth effort in a space that you feel, I guess you feel somewhat supported in, because especially if somebody reaches out to you.
But see that goes with the whole, in theory, it's like it started off as a dopamine playground. It's like I could just go ahead and just, again, even though the rejection is rejection, period, but there are levels to it. So there's a different type of experience when it comes to a rejection opposed to in person, opposed to on an app. Like, it may not feel good, but it's necessary. And see, what we try to do is skip the steps so that way we won't have to experience these necessary things that we may need. We may need that type of rejection to get us to grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
See, we want to take all the bad out and just leave all the good there. And it's like, well, then you find out the thing that you thought was good, it ain't even that good. They're exhausted from having to get notifications every hour on the hour. Like, okay, Reggie just texted me. Okay, Brandon just texted me. Okay, some dude named Eduardo from Cuba, he just texted me. Something like, it's all over the place. And then you like, okay, I got 15 people that's talking to me at the same time, and I have to respond to all of them genuinely and differently. Try to do that for a whole year. It doesn't even measure up to the reality of focusing on one particular person at a time. Now it depends on your intent. If if you're using it for the idea of just hooking up with someone, then that's what you're using it for. The problem is that people have a tendency to be very disingenuous when it comes to their intent on using dopamine tools like a dating app, or it's just like anything. You're like, we all have our own dopamine type of tools that we use, but our intent for using it is totally different than someone else's. So some of them
are called bad habits, but
exactly. So some people are like, you know what? Instead of using the Tinders of the world and the Bumbles of the world and the Hinge, I'm going to use the eHarmonies, where they give you face-to-face virtual advice on how to date somebody. You actually have a virtual date with somebody first, but you got to pay for it. It's an extra feature. So now you got to invest in your dating. So the same amount of money you would take a young lady out, now you can take that money, put $50 more on your eHarmony account, and start dating somebody virtually. Which means that you don't have to experience the in-person rejection that could potentially take place. So the fact that we, as our generation, still have been using it at almost the same rate from time to time is very interesting, because we have knowledge. A lot of our podcasts that we have out here, a lot of the people that we, come across in our lives that stick with us, we gain knowledge as we get older. And the more knowledge we get, it's like, okay, well, if you don't have no application to this knowledge, then your knowledge fall on on just ground that is not conducive for a harvest. So then now it goes back to your individual intent. Like, what is your intention for utilizing this application? Or what is your intention for doing the dating app thing? So these young people are like, man, our intent was to get a relationship, or to see if we can get accepted, or to see if we can upgrade our social life. But come to find out, it's not that social. It's not that social, because you think because something is better, it's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because something is better to use don't mean it's good.
Or
it's better, it's better
because it's better for you.
Exactly. Like, the fact that you can talk to a bunch of people at one time throughout your day, and you can slow walk that thing if you want to, or you can be aggressive and use it all the time if you want to. It's up to you. That is a level of access that you wouldn't be able to get in person, right? So now you take that and you put it in the palm of your hand, and then you realize, like, man, this is exhausting too, man. And then you got some people that's out here crazy. They may respond to you in a way that's like, yo, I'm not even on that type of time right now. You know what I'm saying? So, and that thing, and one of the things that was interesting, and I'm gonna give it over to you, Jay. But one of the things that was interesting to me in the video is one of the young ladies said that it was casual. Now, she knows it's casual. She's a college student. She knows that it's casual. It's like, why we won't accept the fact, our generation, why we won't accept the fact that we do casual stuff, and just leave it and be honest about that. You know what I'm saying? And I think the decline that Gen Z just gave last year, this is just a last year study where they're like, you know what? I think that because we didn't really grow up in meeting each other face to face, I guess, except for school, you know what I mean? But like Rollo said, the pandemic, we had to find other ways and avenues to communicate. And then we utilize this tool, and we think that it's going to be better because we can get more access, but actually it's more exhausting. The fact that it's more exhausting from that perspective is super interesting to me, man.
Yeah, the implication of trends, if you really think about it, I was seeing while you were talking, I had an idea. Like, the implication of trends and just the new innovative thing, you know what I'm saying? You know, the saturation of trying to invest in the new thing all the time, the innovation, the you know what I'm saying, the new trend, the new fad, what it causes everybody to take heed of it because it's a fad, it's a trend, and then they saturate it because everybody do it, right?
Right.
And what that does, that causes bottlenecking. That causes the fact of there's no natural evolution to it. You know what I'm saying? It'll cause oversaturation. It will cause complacency, like I would say. And then what it does is it makes people choose alternate ways to do it because of the saturation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like traffic. If you had right now in where I live, they have a major highway closed, and they said it's going to be closed for 2 years. That's going to cause bottlenecking all over the section of this freeway, right? So what it causes now, people always they sought out an alternate, and all these people are taking the easiest alternate, right? So it's an extra 30 minutes to an hour of traffic to everybody to take this alternate. That causes other people to think of other ways to get there. You see what I'm saying? So that's what happened with the Gen Z. It's like we saturated the dating app so much, right? Even though they was born into the situation, we saturated so much they caused to change the way of thinking. Like, you know, they was like, let's find a different way to do this. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the cell phone. The cell phone came from an accessory to a necessity. Anybody that has one knows this, right? But what we did, we applied social media to it. Now it's being saturated. Now it's to the fact that everybody's on a device. You see what I'm saying? To the point that it takes away from sociality itself. There are some people that's putting their phone down now, noticing that too much of it will cause a defect in you. You see what I'm saying? And so it's funny how people do that. Like, oh, this is the new thing. You remember the challenges on social media? Remember how everybody was doing the iceberg challenge and the cinnamon challenge? You remember all that goofiness? And everybody just started to do it. And there was some people that was just sitting in the back like, okay, y'all not going too far. Because they start adding all these new crazy challenges to it. To the point that some people's like, it'll cause the loss of balance. So this is what happened. Everybody was our generation was into the thing of social dating. We was into it. Everybody's just out. I noticed that recently on social media, people are starting to post 1990s, 2000s video of how people were in society. I noticed people started doing that. And everybody was just out having a good time, barbecues and all that type of stuff.
Man, I saw that McDonald's one. It hurt my heart, man.
Yeah, it's almost tearful because you remember how it was.
A Big Mac meal used to be $3.17. My bad, Jay. I went somewhere else.
You're talking about the money, but I'm just saying.
My bad. I went
so it's just like but I understand what he's saying though. It was a different time, right? To the point, it was like, dang, you know what I'm saying? It was just like that. We were all social. Everything was cool. To read, walk up somebody, have a flirt line, know what it is. And that's why I started laughing during the video. These Gen Zs are now putting out tutorial apps about how to talk to people. Like, we knew that. That's what Tay was saying. We knew that. So now, all of a sudden, now it's a new thing for them. Learn how to talk in person.
Yeah.
That's what just the complacency is for our generation. It's like, we know how to do that, man.
That sounds so bad, bro. Like, hearing you, the way you just said it. Like when Tay showed the video, I was like, dang, when one of the students said we don't know how to talk to each other, that's just sad, bro. It's just sad.
See,
right.
That's our offspring. This is the problem.
Facts.
See, the problem is their generation is a reflection of us.
Right.
It's a reflection of us. See, we looking at it like these young folks don't know nothing. Okay, they your kids. Why they don't know nothing? They your kid. You the parent.
I always say that too.
You the parent. These are your children. Our generation has produced this. Why? And it's so many different factors, man. It could be from a relationship you was in before and it hurt you so bad it made you more reclusive, but you're still having sex, and now you're creating kids, and then these kids is having their own little reclusive attitudes, and now they're in college with this. They're 17, 18, 19 years old, don't know how to talk to nobody, but they love to build on technology and do all this. I mean, it's us. Who you think made these apps? Not them. It was us. So that their decline on utilizing the dating apps is a reflection of what we have not been teaching them.
It's our complacency for innovation.
That's what I'm saying. It's the complacency that you're talking about came from us.
Right.
It ain't their complacency. They don't have the knowledge.
It's to be complacent about it. That's right.
They have information, but they don't have knowledge.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because when you have the knowledge of something and you know, like you have the knowledge, then you will be able to apply it. You should be able to apply what you know. We do this all the time at other people's jobs that we work for. We have knowledge of what their system is, and then we can teach it to somebody else. It's called training. We don't train our kids, man. All we try to do is make sure we just give them everything that they need, and we like, you know what? That's good enough. No, you got to break. Like your boy Chris Rock said, will you teach these kids something so they won't rob me in 15 years?
Right.
Remember Bringing Black dog? Remember Bringing Black with Chris Rock?
Greatest.
You're telling me, man, these young folks don't know nothing. They came from you, sir.
Yeah.
They came from you. So how is it? So why don't they know something? They don't know something because the laziness starts from somewhere. It starts from somewhere. And so this the reasons behind them declining to use the app shows me, from my perspective, it shows me that we ain't been teaching them nothing. But we love to do the hey young blood speech to them, and we the OG, we love to throw that around to the young folk, but we ain't been training them. What we have been doing is complaining about them, but we haven't been giving them no game. They literally going back to in-person process of dating as if it's a new thing, like it was produced in a lab somewhere. It's like this is how
like
we
talking to
always
each other is new,
Right.
Yeah.
So what beguiled you to stop showing the knowledge to your children?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to you that made you think that the knowledge that grandma gave you, you shouldn't give it to baby girl or young fella? You see what I'm saying? So now you hoarding the game for yourself because you still too selfish. You still selfish, and you really want to do this hookup thing. You really want to find somebody, but you too selfish to pass down the real truth to your kids. What you will do is pass down your experience. You will project your feelings onto them and make that a lesson. You will make that a lesson of rule for life when really it's your experience based on your choice that's causing you to feel the way you feel. But we want to talk about the young people all the time. You are the issue in this whole particular thing that I found out.
Wow.
I'm like, you know what? It lets me know that we have not been doing right by the young people.
It shined a light on us. Yep.
It shined a light on us. We look like, oh, they don't know how to talk to nobody. Where'd that come from, Charles?
Charles.
James.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from, Charles?
Yeah.
James, how come your son don't know how to talk to a girl, James?
Jeffrey.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember Jeffrey, why is your boy not able to talk to the ladies? You know what I'm saying? And I remember seeing a clip from the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark and Channing, with Channing and Channing Tatum and not Channing Tatum, Channing, I forgot his name, and Fred Taylor. When they were talking about, he was like, man, I wish these young people would know what it felt like to go talk to a girl and get the number when you was young. And you like, you try to get the number and the way it feels when she say yes or no, or the rejection, like all that. He was breaking it down. And I'm like, that's what needs to happen. Sometimes we just need to go back to the basics. And this is what's happening now. The young people are saying they're trending in the right direction. That we're going to go in the direction of meeting people in person, because these dating apps are not conducive for the human connection that we're looking for. Again, this is intent. Whatever you're looking for, you will find it. And if you're looking for hookups in the dating apps, that's all you're going to find.
Anybody
if you're looking for a relationship, right? If you're looking for a relationship, it may take a little doozy, but you might find that there is a small amount of success. But it's not high enough for it to say it truly works.
Yeah,
right. It causes the fact of the change within yourself, though, because if the rejection happens so much, you will have to look at yourself and why are you the common denominator of rejection. This is what people don't want to do. You don't want to look at yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you get someone, because that's what the social game did. People looked at you directly in your eye and rejected you. Like, no, I'm good. And that hurt because you thought you of something. Well, that may be pointing to the fact that you need to change something of you. And that's the thing. That's the thing that people don't want to do. They become complacent in the idea of themselves and keep projecting it on the people. And the best way to project it is to hide behind social media. I'm done.
Let me show you what I think you want to see.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly it.
Man.
Hey, shout out to the first topic, man. That was dope, man. Shout out to the brothers for that.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Great.
Go to a little bit of a different direction. Speaking of online dating, we got a situation, Busy. Let's go. All right. So we just had a very deep and conscious conversation about the declining online dating. But we about to give you a situation that may be another reason why some people are deciding to maybe steer away from it. So here's the situation.
Okay.
Okay. There's a married woman is on a dating app while her husband is in jail. Now, on this particular Jay couldn't even. This is the situation.
What?
Yep. There's a woman, a married woman, on a dating app while her husband is in jail. Now, I was able to dig a little bit into this and find out a little bit more. I was actually able to see the profile. And so on the app as well, the woman is expressing what she's looking for. She says she's just looking for friendship. When you read further down, she actually goes into detail about how in love her and her husband are. She's waiting for him to come home. She's just on the app looking for friends, and she's loyal to him. But she is on the app saying she just wants to have some friends. On this particular app, it you know how some apps it says actually what you're looking for. But most apps, that's what you're looking for. On the app, she says friendship, something casual, or she says friendship or something casual. While she has all her bio is about her husband in jail and how she's still loyal to him, waiting for him to come home, but she's still on the app looking for something casual. My brothers, I cannot make this up. Now, me being a strong advocate for dating apps, because again, I've been on them. I've had some great experience, met some awesome people. But I definitely understand in this sense why, if I had a reason to just stop, this would definitely be one of them. So, my brothers, please give me your opinion on this situation.
Go ahead, Jay.
Go ahead for me, man. I got some on my end.
All right, so
sorry about that.
Go ahead, Busy. I know it's tough, bro. I know it's difficult.
I don't even know how to slice this
goofy, man. It's just goofy, dog. Just goofy, man.
Bruh. All right, so she's looking for something. She said, she talking out two sides of her neck. First, she's looking for some friend. She's looking for just friendship. Then she said something casual. See, listen, man. These are the word casual. We know what that means, dog.
That's dangerous, bro. That's dangerous, bro.
That's dangerous, dog. You already know
that is dangerous, bro.
If you're looking for something casual while you're married, you're looking for something casual from someone else.
Yep.
While you're married, because your husband is in jail. Your husband is in jail. If you can't wait for him, then just say that. You know, just go ahead and dissolve the marriage and move forward with whatever it is that you really need, because you about to risk it all. You know what I'm saying? And again, he's in jail, so but he's still your husband. You looking for something casual, that lets me know that you ain't been exercising like you normally would.
All right.
Since he's been in jail. You've been without. You know what I'm saying? You've been lacking sexually. So that lets me know, like, you don't want no problems from no one. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to make it, you're trying to dress it up, and make it cute. But you really don't want to have a situation where you're connecting with someone. You just want that casual, hey, every now and again now, you know, mama need new pair of shoes in the house to do some things with no laces in the house. You know what I'm saying? And Sean said it right here, looking for trouble. That's all you looking for right now. You want to get in trouble. And so you think because no one sees you that you're fine. You're on a dating app now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're married. Listen. Okay. I'll put it to you like this. in my experience of being a gentleman that was married before, now been divorced for 10 years, a whole decade. Okay. In my experience, there was a time where this idea was introduced and they wanted my permission to see if I would be okay. You know, it's just black people meet where we group up and we just socialize with each other and stuff like this. Now this is years ago. We talking years ago. So this is when it was first designed for social networking, as they say. It's just a dress-up word for hooking up. Right. And you have this idea come across your head, and you think that this is a good idea. you don't want to be married. You see what I'm saying? And so you're already on the app, so you're showing that you don't want to be married. You don't want to be married. And if it's impossible for you to abstain yourself until your husband get out of jail, you need to leave. It's best to just go, because you're going to violate your entire commitment based on the fact that he's in jail. If you can't hold yourself until he get out, don't even do it. Just let it go, man.
Yeah.
Just
yeah. When I read it, and I talked about it a little bit in our topic about the fatigue of it. So when I read it, it was discouraging to me, because you know what I mean? Because there are people who are using these apps. It's purposeful for them. You know what I mean? It's something that helps them. You know what I mean? It's something. This is their means. It could be a means to an end, or it could be their best way to meet people. So when I see people like this on apps, and they have their bios like this, and they're introducing themselves in this way, it just really diminishes the whole experience for everybody else. You know what I mean? Because it's like you don't take into account that there are people on here trying to meet people. You know what I mean? And then
what about the ones that's hiding behind the profile though, that are married but they won't say it on their profile, like this lady?
That's very understandable. That's very understandable. And that, in that sense, Busy, what you want to do is hope that you get to a point where you actually can meet this person and figure that out. But in order to do that, you got to put forth that effort on the app and meeting people. But for some people, bro, like this really gives them life. You know what I mean? Because Busy, you talked about, you know, all the people that you have to message and everything like that. Like it's a daunting task. It can be for some, but some people love it. They love having those options. They love having the ability to reach out to multiple people, because either they haven't experienced it, or it's something that gives them that confidence boost they need. You know what I mean? And out of those 15 some people, you may find I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's a small percentage who are going to be the type of person you're looking for. So it comes into effect. But this is really what this is what a lot of people lean on. Like I said, I'm an advocate for it. I've been on it. I've read bios where I'm like, they'll say things like, I'm giving this another shot, or I'm trying something new because I've experienced this and this and that. So it's like it's something that kind of it's like a last hope for some people. And then when people come on there and they're just kind of putting themselves out there, not really caring about the response they get, but they're in a space where, kind of like what Jay talked about too, the trend thing, they just want to see what it's about. I think you got to put it in the context, like this is what some people really are trying to make connections with. And then say this woman, you're right, and say this woman, and say this right, and say this woman meets somebody, say this woman, if somebody on there responds to her and starts flooding her DMs with some stuff. You know what I mean? That could lead to some potential harmful things. Because apparently when her husband get out, you know what I mean, it's gonna flip up. The person on the other end of the messages could be just as crazy. So I just think you got to be careful on what you're putting out here, man. And like I said, some people really use this as a means to meet people. So she's not, obviously. Whatever she's looking for is what she's looking for. But there are some people out here really trying to use it. Go ahead, Jay.
Let me say something about, like, kind of like a final thought about how I feel about dating apps real quick. Like, People have done it as a fad and a trend. Like I'm not really tripping. Everything that came about. I mean, like I use Snapchat. I've used video dating. You know what I'm saying? I've used that just because it was an innovative, new trending thing. Like I can't get mad at people that trying stuff. This is my point though. It goes back to what you said, Rollo. If you are using this solely as a way to date, then there's something wrong with you. I'm just gonna say it, right? There's if you are using this solely, what it did for me is to understand people have lost balance in sociality, like in just social environment. You know what I'm saying? If you follow a trend so much, especially a technical trend, an innovative digital trend, if you follow it so much, that means you're trying to remove yourself from the analog sociality that came with. You're trying to remove yourself from it, right? If you want to do something so digitally that you can't do it analog anymore, then there's something about that. So if people give all of their chips, I'm talking about all chips in poker table to social dating, that means either you got complacent about it or something mental makes you think that way. And that is not a good thing. Now, if you've done it, like you said with that one individual that said that they're trying to try something new, but yet you're still out dating like it's supposed to usually go, like in person. If you're just using both, then I don't care. Like it really doesn't matter. Like you're not judging anybody for using a dating app. That's not a big deal, right? But if you're solely using the dating app for something that is usually works more in analog and human interaction and emotion, there is something wrong with you. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm just going to leave that there.
You don't think it could just be preference, Jay?
No, I do not believe it could be preference. I'm sorry. I'm just being passionate about it. I believe that there is something you're hiding from. Now, I'm just saying. That's just what that is to me. You know what I mean? Because why not balance it out? Like, why not? Oh, okay, you use a treadmill. You can't walk in real life? Think about it, though. Like, seriously. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's just another means of doing something. But why can't you balance it out? Just like what Tay said, the human interaction is what causes the connection in dating. The human interaction. Eventually, it causes the dating people with profiles to interact humanly. You have to do this eventually. You have to date outside the app eventually. You know what I'm saying? So the means of startup, people are skipping. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that. But that's fine. I'm just saying that's fine, bro. I'm just saying if that is your only means of meeting somebody, there's something wrong with that. That's all I'm saying.
You're just saying, like, you're saying it's okay for preference, but if this the only thing you do, that's not
right. If you're sitting in the house only using dating apps to find somebody in true matrimony, bro, think about it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way. That's just it. Like, that's it. That's your only way of starting a campfire as far as meeting somebody is to do that. That's the only way you do it. Usually why people get that far is because they're hiding behind a profile, one, or the fact that they don't like losing. I'm just being real, bro. They don't like losing.
Because I was about to go in, Jay, because you mentioned you did a good analogy with the working out. I mean, you did a good analogy with the running and everything, or what the analogy you made. Because I was like, I work out. I prefer the gym and being on the treadmill and running. I don't like to run outside, but it doesn't mean I'm incapable of it, though, Jay.
Right. If the gym was closed, then you just don't work out.
Okay.
You see
what I'm saying?
So just because her husband is in jail.
No, you're right. No, you're right. I was just come on, man. No. I was going strictly off the fact that if I thought he was just saying like it requires you to be able to do multiple things. You know what I mean? So
right. Rollo, you still talk about how this, in previous seasons.
I don't agree with this broad. I don't agree with this broad at all. that we're talking about.
Yeah. No. I know what you're talking about. I know that. Like, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I was just giving you your points though, because you have talked about, like, have you been out meeting somebody? You still talk about stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yet you're an advocate for dating apps.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm talking about the people that don't go out, right? Yeah. That solely just do that. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like there, I'm okay with some people that just didn't have good interactions in human interaction out at bars and clubs or whatever, and they just want to try something new. I'm okay with that. Like, this is what it is. Try to just do something different. You should do different stuff. Like, okay, like I'm just whatever. Yeah. Just to, you know what I'm saying? Just to find out where your palate is, you should taste different stuff, right? Yeah. So it's like I'm okay with that. But when you're trying to substitute a whole interaction for another one, like, there's something to that. Now, that was just my first point. I apologize, fellas. I didn't even mean to bridge that from the original, because we talked about that forever. But getting back to this is why I feel like, and it's hard for me to talk about things that just really been normalcy and the sense that once was called common. Like, it's very hard. I'm just being personal. It's very hard for me to do this. Like, it's just like, because I know sense ain't common no more, right? I'm trying to get that, right? I understand, right? I get it, and I have different type of morals and things that I grew up with or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But for people that try to innovate certain things that worked, and they're trying to innovate it so much into their own thing, it's like, dude, how much you just gonna wring the rag out? How much water are you trying to get out of it? Right? Like, she said that she was on a dating app, right?
She said,
right?
She said, oh, hell no.
She said,
hell no. She said that she was on a dating app looking for friends. This is why I said I can't. How do you come up with the fact that you're trying to find friends on it? Now you lying. Like, you lying.
This is all a lie.
Like, seriously. You know what I mean? Like, the jackhammer ain't hit the concrete yet, baby. Just say it. You got milk but no cookies.
You got milk.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all it is. Trying to get dipped. It just is what it is. But don't try to sell this thing about how much you love your husband and I can't wait to get out and all this stuff. Because if you working outside of the box that you're in, you're defying the box. Right? If you got a set of rules that you're trying to comply with and you do something outside the set of rules, you're against the set of rules you comply with. You agreed to get married. Doing this is outside the box of being married, right? Like, this is normal. This is again, I know I'm saying words like normal and common sense, and I know it's like, cliche, but it's like, dude, like, seriously? But this is the thing I see. I always say this, man. Whatever you put in, you get out.
Yeah.
If you put the wrong ingredients into a recipe, do not expect the recipe to come out right. If that's what you put into it, you know what I'm saying? If you being shysty and selfish, because that's all this is a selfish act. Trying to find, you know what I'm saying, somebody to be intimate with. It's a selfish act. If you're trying to be selfish with it and all to yourself about it, and that's what you're going to get out of it. Just what it is. You know what I'm saying? You can't come out the mud clean. I said this before. You can't do dirt and try to be clean. You know what I'm saying? It's just not what it is. So she's trying to, I want to look for that. Everything should be cool. Like, it is what, just is what it is. If you're going to do dirt, just be dirty. If you was looking for friends, why can't you just put that on Instagram and Facebook or something? Why you have to choose a dating app? Because you want dating-ish. But you don't want to classify it as that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for me, bro. It's really hard for me.
No, I get it.
That's it. I'm just saying.
I get it. Another thing.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. Another thing outside of the fact that it was just a terrible thing to read. Like it was just a terrible thing to see. It was the most unconscious thought I think I've seen from a person in a very long time, and to put it on a platform to where a lot of people can see it and look at you and judge you on it. But it also got me thinking about what people place and in the bios of these apps. And I thought about, say you are on here trying to meet people, say you are on here wanting some type of response for somebody, but you don't give two thoughts to what you put in that bio. You know what I mean? You're just kind of that just kind of adds to the overall negative effect that some of these apps are having just on us in society too. Because it's already bad out here socially. You know what I mean? Like we talked about cell phones, we talked about everything that's distracting us from trying to connect with people. So when people put things on these bios, and it immediately will detract people from wanting to get to know you. That's going to continue to cause these declines with people with conscious ways of thinking who are really out here trying to meet people through this platform. You know what I mean? Like I've seen women post stuff on here where you can automatically tell they're about money. Or I've seen women post things that you can automatically tell that their attitude will outweigh whatever you're going to get to know about their personality, because it's just high, it's just right there. You know what I mean? So I think just in kind of how these two things we're talking about today kind of correlate, that can really weigh on somebody as well. When you take the time to read these things and you see what some of these people are saying, and you see some of the things that people are putting out there, some people really don't care. It's almost like just wanting to do this. It's almost just like just wanting to do this just to see how many likes you might get, like an Instagram model. You're out here trying to see. You're out here trying to see how many people are going to swipe right on you, and you don't really care. But you're gonna say whatever you want to say. But the amount of attention you're going to get helps you in some type of way, and that's what I get when I read some of these bios. I remember going through on some of these apps, and it's like I said earlier, it's something that just mentally drains me from, okay, let me chill off this for me, because it is some people out here who are not real. Some people out here, is something going on, and they place all this energy on this platform with people that they have nothing in common with. You don't know who's going to see it, you don't know what's going on, but you're going to put this out here for yourself just to see how many people will respond. So I'm just saying, in general, for me, like I haven't been as active on any dating sites in the last few years, but if I do tap in every now and then, and I just see some of the things that I see now, and I think society in general has just had an effect on dating in all areas, whether it's face to face or whether it's through social media. People are just I don't think as conscious of who they are and what they're doing in certain spaces. So and this when I saw this post, it just kind of put a stamp on, we're not going in the right direction. If this is going to keep being a thing, if this is going to be a way to try to get people to connect, is kind of going down the wrong path. So I just thought it was crazy for me, man. Any final thoughts on this, fella?
No, I'm good.
All right. Shout out to that one, man. Yeah. And we appreciate everybody tapping in right now. Again, thanks for our mods, man. We appreciate y'all. If anybody has a question about the show throughout the show, just go ahead and put it in the chat. We'll get right to it. Y'all know what it is. Busy. Let's get into unpopular opinion, man. Yeah. This unpopular opinion was our brothers, Jay, rock with us.
Okay. This was, this was something I came up with, and I know it sounded a little unpopular, and I went to the boys like, what does that sound like? They was like, yo, that's unpopular as hell. Yeah, that's unpopular as hell. And I'm sorry, I don't have my notes in front of me. I'm sorry, Rollo. Tell me what that was.
Got you. The unpopular
I'm
opinion.
so sorry.
You got it.
I don't know.
Look at the screen.
No, I
It's at the
don't. Go ahead,
bottom.
go ahead. I don't know what.
I got it scrolling at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Right, okay. All right. Sorry. I'm just
stay present.
I'm just being me. My bad.
That's all good.
I'm sorry. It happens. Whatever. All right. Relationship nowadays are friends with benefits. I'm still human. Dang. Relationships nowadays.
There's no humans here. Strong like glue. Strong like glue.
The unpopular opinion. Ooh, we go talk. The unpopular opinion is relationships nowadays are just friends with benefits with labels. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the reason why I say that, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and dive into it.
Because I ain't heard
friends with benefits with labels. It's just friends with benefits with labels. It's just everybody's tacking on everything to the friends decor. If you notice the statement, that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? So now you got benefits with the friendship, and now you got a label on top of the friendship. But there's no real relationship going on. It's just a whole bunch of stacking like Tetris, right? Ain't nobody clearing no lines, right? So this is all right. So Philby, we previously talked about it in an episode this season about friends and benefits, right? So and we broke that down. You know what I'm saying? That's just a settlement. That's just a verbal agreement, just to say that we're just going to be cool as friends. But we can do a couple things on the side, usually preferencing sex, right? That's usually what friends benefits is. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what it is. So, and you take that into the quorum. But what the question was in the previous segment that we did, have been friends with benefits, is there an unspoken rule to not doing that with anybody else? And you know what I'm saying, like as kind of like a majority, we were saying that, you know what I'm saying, it's foolishness to have an unspoken rule in friends with benefits, because that's what y'all agreed to. It is what it is. That has nothing to do with exclusivity whatsoever. But there are some people that think, like, if you got this transaction with me, I don't want you to have that transaction with nobody else, right? So that's the concept that I added this to. So since I can't do nothing with nobody else, you solidify it by saying that that's my man or that's my girl. But you're not really in it, though. You know what I'm saying? Ergo, think about how society is. People just go ahead and do their own thing on the side, have a side dude, side chick, do whatever the case may be. Cheat is just abnormally high. And then, it's all this type of stuff going on, right? And so then you got the era of transactional dating that started, right? You got that going on. You know what I'm saying? The fact that, it's just a, old girl making herself a good in the service, so if you pay for it, you get it. You know what I'm saying? But she don't, the guy that's her number one customer, she don't want to have anybody else. You know what I'm saying? She don't want that dude to have an emotional connection with. So she like, that's my man. So is in the current dating scheme of it all, the relationships, the way they're built nowadays, is it just friends with benefits, just adding labels to it? That's what I think so.
Okay.
What y'all think?
Rob. You go ahead, man. You go ahead, dog.
Why?
Have y'all ever heard the term ulterior motives? Because that's all the fuck I think about this. And I've been in situations where I've hung out with women and it got to a point where I had to let them know, or it came up in a conversation where, I like hanging out with you, but I do date other people, and it just turned everything completely left. You know what I mean? So I think when people have images in their mind of what they want, but nothing is expressed, that's going to definitely be some problems with that. So I do think that that's what some of these friends with benefits can become. if there are already motives set in place that nobody else knows about. I've definitely, and like I said, I've experienced it. I do think communication is key in these situations, but if both people are just on this kind of steady path of doing what they're doing, and then all of a sudden somebody just brings something out of the dark that you had no idea about, you got to put onus on that person who had that thought process, because you're in the space that you thought y'all were cool, and then the other person comes from the far left and tells you it's something different. So I just think that's an unfair way to go about it. So you got to be careful with the labels. Obviously, you got to be careful with that, because if it could bring up different type of it could definitely bring up different type of things where now you're trying to backtrack on where y'all were before and trying to move forward to where you want to go, but only one person still wants to get to that point, and one person didn't know anything about it. So I definitely agree with that unpopular opinion. And those circumstances happen when the communication isn't made clear up front. So
yeah, man, I believe you. If you take out, I'm sorry, but if you take out the connection in it,
I'm still processing.
Like if you take out the connection, like the actual connection of a relationship, like the connection that you're supposed to have with that person, you know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm talking about when you go from the dating portion of it to agreeing to, you know what I'm saying, into the courting phase. It's two different things, right? You know what I'm saying? Like dating, just get to know you. Courting is for a purpose to me. So it's like if you want to do it for a purpose, so that's what's up. If you wanted to date somebody with the exclusive purpose of trying to, you know what I'm saying, be with them for long term, like you have a purpose going on, then there's a connection there that you have with that person. I mean, I think people will agree with that in order to do that. But if you're just like doing all of everything without the connection, I mean, I'm talking about like living together, just stuff. Like people want to do all this stuff without the connection, right? Without them, like people don't halfway like each other, but they're doing all this stuff. We have seen this, right? I've literally seen this in my interaction with people that they it's almost like they have to, and it's like, dude, like you ain't even halfway in this. Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? But they're getting some type of benefit of it, either economically, financially, or just sexually, or just something to do. Like I mean, people just do this, and they establish their livelihood on top of this transaction, right? To the point that they don't want to have nobody else do this with them, but you ain't even really 100% in it. You know what I mean? Because it's transactional. Because as long as they do that, then I'm here. But as soon as they stop, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we talked about, like what some women think. As soon as you stop doing everything for me, then I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah, right. So yeah, and as soon as you mention to them that's not where you want to be, then that's a whole nother thing. You know what I mean?
Right. And so that whole thing stops and all that. But as long as you still do that, then it's like, you know, oh, okay, I'll claim you to eternity. As long as you keep doing what I want you to do. I even call you my significant other. Right?
Yeah.
Some people even do the negligence of even marrying on this concept, bro. To be honest. Like, it just, there's nothing to back it up. There's no foundation in it whatsoever. There's no friendship, really. You know, so there's no emotional connection. There's nothing there. You're just doing the nuances of it because you don't want to be alone, or you need stuff fulfilled mentally and physically. So you're just doing stuff. Then you claim the person that just falls for the trap. You claim them forever if they wake up to the idea, or even if it's you that wake up to the idea that this person's not fully in it, then they just go ahead and disperse the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? There's no debate about it. There's no fighting to try to keep it together. There's nothing like that. It's just like, man, you do your own thing, whatever the case may be. It's like there's no bottom connection to it.
No, being in love with the thought of something is crazy work. Yeah.
Right. Did you just friends with benefits and then you labeling and you just doing that? That's how I came up with that. Real talk.
Being in love with the thought of something is crazy work, bro. Just somebody you feel might be this, somebody you feel might be where you want to be, but you have no idea. You have no idea that this person might not be, or you have no idea if this person even wants what you want. Okay.
Mm.
So to take it as far as having friends with benefits and y'all do all this, and then to put it on me that I can't do nothing else. So what's really going on in your mind? What really are you thinking?
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten past the point of sugarcoating things for me. You know what I mean? I'm the type of person, like, I take it for what it is. If something comes up to where we have to have a discussion about what it is, then I will express that. So it's like, don't bring nothing new on the table if we haven't discussed it. Don't bring anything from out here to right here to where we're doing now, because all of a sudden you have this in your mind. And first of all, it's not all of a sudden, it's always been here. But you just wanted to see what my steps were going to be. And then when I let you know my steps are not in coordinates with yours, now we have an issue. And it has nothing to do, I don't think it has nothing to do with me or whoever. You know what I mean? So busy.
I don't know. When I hear this statement, it makes me think of somebody that's married but they don't wear a wedding ring. It's like, you still married. Like, no matter if you take the ring off or leave it on or shower in the mud or the water, like, you still married. I don't know what happens in the process of the label part. I don't understand the part of it's with labels, like friends with benefits.
Selfishness.
No, okay.
The selfishness of the situation. Okay. I thought you were asking. I'm sorry.
No, I'm asking about okay, you're saying selfishness, but you got relationships. So the relationship, I'm asking, if the relationship is labeled as something when it's in essence of friends with benefits?
Right. Yes.
Okay, how did that happen? How did the concept of that occur with the label part?
It could have been, I mean, just spitballing, I guess. It could have been the fact that people just go along with trending of the matter. Like, people just eventually, it's like, like, that's my girl, and all of a sudden you just start saying that and roll with it. It could have been that.
You mean like being
it
led
could
astray?
be that type of scenario.
Okay. Like being led astray.
Like, it could be that. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I think that the last comment is what I'm kind of like getting to. Like, I think that was received, if you don't mind. And that's what I was trying to point out. The last comment, this one.
Okay.
It's like, you either stay friends or do the work in a relationship. Stop being selfish, wanting to have benefits, and make up your mind and do what you really want. It's that thing. Like, it's like people don't want to be vulnerable in the emotional connection of it, but they want everything that has to do with relationship.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right? So I did a play on words. So it's just this with that with that. It's not really a relationship. It's just stacking benefits. You know what I'm saying? It has no morality in it. It has no actual attraction there, like, mentally. It has no foundation. That's what I was calling the foundation. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing there. And so really, I just kind of did a play on words. I was like, so you just really stacking, like, like Tetris, like, you just stacking all the benefits, but there's no bottom to it. Like, there's no foundation to it. You know what I mean? So that's I don't know.
So, like,
I know it's a little
there's no
wild,
commitment. There's no commitment, and there's no commitment aspect of it. And commitment is not just like, I'm not having sex with nobody else. Commitment is like, I'm actually participating actively in this relationship, and I'm committed to the idea of spending my life with you or time with you or whatever. And I think, and I see your unpopular opinion. I was processing, I'm telling you for real. But I see that no, you good. I see that that happens often. Like, I'm fine with when everything is good, then I'm good. But when things go bad, then you need to fix it.
Ha! Sorry.
You know what I'm saying? There was a time where labels meant something. There was a time where labels meant
That's all I'm
something.
saying.
And
That's all I'm saying.
you knew, like, okay, this is quality based on the label. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And now there is no more quality in relationship. It's just, like you said, benefit. And it's like, okay, friend with benefit, but let's slap girlfriend, boyfriend on it. And that means that we're better now than we were. Like, no, it doesn't mean that. Again, we're husband and wife, but we're not wearing wedding rings. We're not going out together. We live in different states. We fly in the Midwest. And we live on East Coast, West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Shirley Ralph. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Open concepts, no actual commitment. And that's what, you know what? You could replace relationships. You could include marriages in here for sure, because a lot of marriages are like this, is where when there is an issue that is occurring, a lot of people try to find ways to attack each other. That's how you could tell that the label don't even matter, because you can see that there is no actual connection, camaraderie, or any type of participation inside of the relationship. So that means anyone can come in and dismantle it. And you've already cracked up the foundation a little bit with your expectations, like Rollo said, that you didn't express. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and now all of a sudden you got this relationship where you're miserable, both of you, but you have to save face by slapping labels on it so that way you won't look goofy. But you're already doing goofy level stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're already doing goofy level stuff because you don't want to have the persona of you didn't know what you was doing. You know, so I know what I'm doing because she's my girlfriend. It's like, sir, she's not committed to you though.
Right.
She's not committed to you. Let something go wrong in the household, like you said, living together. Let something go wrong in the household, and let's see her reaction towards you about it. You're out of there. Now the relationship is messed up. Now the entire union of what y'all had going on is now destroyed because you really just built this off of flowers, cars, and candy and not any real work. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Relationships are like that for real. You see it a lot of times on these shows, man. These Ready for Love shows, these Love is Blind shows. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dog. People expectations are so high, yet they don't express it at all. And then you find yourself. I remember seeing this one show of Ready for Love with nephew Tommy. He's the host of it, and it's this one guy was like, man, I'm feeling this one girl, and I'm like, but I'm still trying to get the full experience of like dating the other ladies that's in this group. But his connection was with the one young lady. And so he has to try to find a way to force himself to try to connect with someone else when he really doesn't want to. But then if she connects with someone else and it's not him, then he's going to get upset and feel some type of way about it. And it's like, well, you can't, because you have participated in a show that requires no commitment. And I think people who jump into these things, they jump into it hoping that the other person does all the committing and they reap all the benefit of their commitment. So you're going to try to make it work. You're going to try to make it happen. You're going to try to work extra hours, work an extra job because your girlfriend said that she can't put up with this anymore. And she's the best woman I ever had in my life. And I'm never going to find another woman like her. It's like,
he said because your girlfriend said.
Your girlfriend said she's irritated with your cooking. So now you're online trying to cook and trying to get all these recipes from Gordon Ramsay. It's like, nah, dog.
Got too much power, bro.
You got way too much power over you, dog. She's making you move a certain way that you normally don't even move. Oh, man. Nah, man. That ain't right. That ain't right. Woo. So I think when I hear that statement, I immediately thought about married couples who claim marriage and all that kind of stuff, but they dilute their marriage. They don't wear wedding rings anymore. They don't go out anymore. They try to do everything separately, as if they are still single. In their mind, they're single. But I'm gonna do my own thing, do what I want to do. And you can think that all you want, but the reality is you're not. The reality is that you're not. And so these relationships nowadays, they come with a lot of take care of me energy, opposed to I'm committed to us energy. So I can
and that's why I was saying that that's based on the fear of loss. It's really based on, because you're vulnerable to the idea. You're vulnerable to the idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, that if you get emotionally involved with this person, they could break your heart. They could let you down. You know what I'm saying? And that's the normal nuance of dating itself, is to take the risk of trying to, you know what I'm saying, trying to unify with somebody. The risk is the natural part of it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I'm willing to do this with you. What do you say? And if you got somebody that thinks the same way, then that what makes that ultimate commitment. Like, I'm taking a chance on you and you, me, the same value?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that is what you fall, quote unquote, in love with. Right?
Yeah.
And even that concept, Rob said it earlier, even that concept matures. Because the in love portion of it, people was thinking puppy love in high school. Like, I can't live without this person. I can't move. Like what you see on a movie. That changes. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, you change the aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? You can't move with, I can't, and people don't, some people don't, about the in love thing, some people don't progress. They stay maturely capped to what in love is. And so that's how you see the people that can't move without their partner. Right? Yeah. No, I mean, like, literally. Like, I gotta know everything you doing all the time and all the type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think that's the, you know what I mean? Because I'm so emotionally connected to you, you think that's being in love. You know what I'm saying? And all that type. That's a whole different thing. That's a whole different conversation. But I'm just saying, like, that is where that commitment lies. So what people try to do now is not to be connected. So I don't have to be emotionally connected to you. I mean, I like you. That means I like you and what you do, right? But I'm not going to invest in you emotionally. I'm not going to do all that, right? So if I don't invest in you emotionally, that means that means I won't get hurt. So I'm a chess play this. This is what people think. I'm a chess play this board, so I won't have to. I'll do all the things like Joe, right? I'll do all the things, right? Yeah. But I'm not emotionally committed. So even if it falls apart, I can just walk off.
Ooh.
But that's what produces the transaction of the dating. That's what produces it. Now you just made it a barter system. Now it's just like there's no, because if it fell through, like Tate was talking about his previous example, if something happened to them, you will have the connection to rely on.
Right.
You'll be like, you know what, we're not working out, but we work out. So let's find a way to fix it. That's the glue. Right? That's the glue that would keep y'all back together, right? But if you don't have that and something goes awry, then you don't have no glue to put it back together. Like, you never established a bond. You know what I'm saying? You never did. You know what I'm saying? This can be mutual, not connected to that bond. This sometimes can be one-sided. Some people might like somebody and think they are really committed to them, and they're not even in the committed whatsoever. They're just doing what you like.
Right.
They're just doing what you like to do, but you're committed in it. And you're deceiving yourself. You so deep into it that you're deceiving yourself about what the relationship really is. It's really a transaction, but you think it's a relationship.
And that's when
it can go that deep.
That's when that risk becomes even more. That's when that risk comes even more. That risk is a little bit more weighted, Jay, especially if they already have it in their mind where this is going to go. Like, this is this is what's going to happen. Now, that risk becomes a lot more. That risk is a lot deeper.
Right. That's facts, but that does not change the responsibility.
Does not.
The responsibility is still incumbent upon you.
Yep. Does not change it at all.
You still there? Is he there?
I think he's still there. Something happened there.
Something. Yeah, I think that I think that lack of I think that lack of the commitment part
Mm-hmm.
changes everything when it comes to whatever the label may be. You can label it whatever you want, but if there is no actual active participation between two people, it ain't gonna work out. Like we talk about when something happens, when something's wrong, and when something happens, right? It's like, okay, if something happens in a situation, like if two people living together and in their household something happens, well, the issue is not each other, the issue is the thing. And if that thing is causing the issue for the household or whatever, the way we approach that thing together will show strength in the relationship.
Absolutely.
We try to escape the actual part of the fact that, okay, I'm gonna put it on you to fix it without my participation. That's where the relationship is like the friend with benefit situation.
Yeah.
That's the way it comes into play, because of the fact that it comes into play that way because of the fact that there is no longer a commitment to do life together towards the thing that may be trying to stop us from what we're trying to accomplish. So we attack each other. And so with the attacks of each other, it causes more damage than it does result. So we out here looking crazy because of the fact that, you know, we exposing each other. It's like, you know what? Like Jay said, I really wanted the benefits here. And now an obstacle came in and showed you that I was just here for the benefits. And then if you call that person out on the fact that they was just there for that, they'll get upset with you, even though they're really there just for the benefit of it. You know what I'm saying?
That's real talk, man. Shout out to the unpopular opinion this week, man. That was dope.
Sure.
Shout out to Jay. Jay is here. You don't mind the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
We see him. Hey, Jay, that was a dope unpopular opinion, man. A really dope deep dive, man. We appreciate y'all so much for being here. Hey, Tay, man, I got to roll those rundown, man. Let's go.
You got to roll those rundown? Let's go there.
I just wanted to talk to y'all for a second. I want to talk to y'all about when it's time for you to be at a mentally strong space. It's been a tough start to the winter for me. I mean, to the new year. Just some things that some things I've been trying to go through mentally, some things I've been trying to progress on, and some of these tough little moments I've had has caused me to be in an uncomfortable place. But what I want to tell y'all in this moment right here is sometimes being in that uncomfortable space, it causes you to mentally strengthen yourself for preparation onto the next thing, or is mentally building you to get ready for what's coming and figure out what's going on now in order for you to better yourself. And sometimes when you're in the space of being uncomfortable, you don't know how to react. You don't know what to do. You don't know. You're just overwhelmed with the stress. You're overwhelmed with everything you're thinking about outside of what's going to happen. I think in those situations, you got to be careful where you place your energy. It's easy to place your energy on what's going on, but I just want to encourage y'all to place your energy on what's to come. Place your energy where you can use it as fuel and not let it contribute to fatigue. So I just want to encourage y'all, when y'all in an uncomfortable space, when things are happening, and sometimes it feels like it's happening all at once, take a moment, sit, breathe, and just use all of that discomfort, use all of that stress to fuel you into how you're going to respond. Because it's how you're going to respond is going to get you where you need to be. Whether it's somewhere you expect it, somewhere you want it to be, whatever the case is where you're headed. And no matter what it is, if you have that thought in you where I'm going to use this, I'm going to mentally prepare myself for what's to come so I can get to where I want to be, I think you'll be all right. You'll be able to take the next step. So I just want to encourage y'all in those uncomfortable spaces, use all your energy to get back to where you need to be. Love and appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to the show this week. Shout out to all our mods. Shout out to my brothers. Sorry I missed last week. I'm glad I got to hold it down with my brothers this week, and they held it down last week. Make sure y'all hit us up on all our social media platforms. Y'all know the deal. Facebook, Instagram, everything is at the Mailroom Network. And of course, like, comment, and subscribe to the Mailroom Network on YouTube, man. We love and appreciate y'all so much. Brothers, what you got for the people?
Hey, next Sunday, let's do it again.
I like that. That's a plan.
That's okay.
That's a plan.
Let's do it again.
Yo. Yeah.
Love y'all. Peace.